Hey everybody, welcome to Black Spring. Hey everybody, welcome into Black Spring on this Thursday night. And I'm happy to have you here on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And let's see, I may continue with a bit of an excerpt from our book of the day, which was the On Tyranny that kind of opened up with on the last segment. But I'll continue here. It says, let's see, getting a little bit off here. Welcome in. Let's see, who do we have? Simply a Sweetheart. How are you? Welcome in. How are you doing? And we have Effie Loves America. How you doing, Effie Loves America? Is this your first time on Black Spring Live? Certainly glad you came in. This could be a little bit of an open-ended chat. Title of the chat, I put it as Culture Changes. And I'm sure you guys have, witnessed your own changes around your neighborhood, your supermarkets, your pharmacies, the whole 9 yards. But this one is just generally, I don't know. It's maybe it could be a little bit, you can see, with people being, under self quarantine or stay at home orders. Hello, David Furman. How are you? And yes, it's going well enough. A little bit of rain, but not too bad. Not too bad. I was just coming in for a little bit on this stream and just talking about cultural changes and just generally how things are, even though people may not realize it, but things are changing. And I don't know if you guys are interested in sharing any experiences. When I say culture changes, I mean, besides, people wearing, protective things like a mask or gloves, that kind of a bit. Effie Loves America says, yes, I think you found my channel in someone's live stream today. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm so glad you could come in. And I don't know, it's like this is a very different time in the country. And I don't know, it's definitely not a positive time. I just think there's of course there's so much information out here, and there's so much misinformation out there that it's like the race against who's actually who's actually telling the truth is is I think where the question comes in. Let's see. He says a lot of stores in my neighborhood shutting down earlier than usual. Yeah, I hear you, Simply a Sweetheart. That's actually a little bit of a concern for me. I mean, I'm wondering, does that mean that there's a potential that these stores are going to be closing? Like, will they go from a reduction to, not opening at all? I'm not, you just really can't tell. Simply as a Sweetheart says, have to go shopping early if I want anything. Yeah, I mean, yeah, besides, yeah, that's, and then of course, the lines are a lot, it's going to take a lot longer to get in and out once you get there. So yeah, you're right. It's going to take some planning, I guess. I mean, yeah, I just think every city, every state is doing something a little bit differently. it seems like we went from social distancing to self-quarantine to stay at home to, I mean, what's next? I mean, it's, I mean, but the thing about it is they're not getting any pushback is, whether you're a conservative or what, where you are, we're just not getting, I don't think there's, now I do have an example, a story that I'm going to be covering tomorrow, which, there are people that are giving pushback. It's just that we're not hearing about it. You're not going to hear about Americans that are pushing back when it comes to liberties and infringing upon those, upon, what's being deemed as essential, who's deciding that, yeah. So, I mean, and then I've heard of some of my friends that they're actually getting letters that they're driving around from work because, maybe the work is ending just right at the curfew time. And of course they have to get back home. So in this instant, one of my friends he was pulled over. And he said he had a letter at the time. So, it's really a different time. And people are, people's inner whatever is coming out. Like, I think if you're like, I don't know, I mean, I went outside to kind of give somebody direction on how to do something in the yard. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, if I'm not wearing a mask, are the neighbors going to call the cops or whatnot? But I think people are calling the cops quite a bit around here. So, but yeah, it's just really, yeah, we're kind of turning on each other and, it's very tyrannical, tyrannizing each other now. It's really just, it's tearing, it's very divisive. It's very much tearing people apart. Let me see. Effie Loves America says a lady was arrested in my town a few days ago. She had posted that her test results weren't back on Facebook and people ratted her out to the police. Yay, Effie. Wow. I mean, let's see. I'm going to continue to read your second comment. Your second comment says, Tim Pool talked about it on one of his videos. It was quite embarrassing. Maybe I should is that a YouTuber? Effie Loves America, Tim Pool? Maybe I'll go on to his page or something and see. Yeah, I mean, because I'm hearing a lot of helicopters and things, near the house. And then of course down the street, and I think some robberies are going on, like just, yeah, it's like the crime, like the longer this goes on, the longer the failed Congress, as long as they continue to do what they're doing, I just think that people at some point, this thing is going to run hot before it's over. I mean, because I just don't see any. They're not really. They're not really handling it in a. I mean, I think the president's doing what he can do, but ultimately, it's going through all these. The bureaucracy is the gross part. Hi, Foreign Exp. Hi, the Foreign Exp. Nice to see you. Okay, well, I will certainly look him up. You said, yes, he's a big YouTuber. Nice. Thank you for sharing that with me. It's always nice to have another perspective. And, it's just, I don't know. I'm not on Facebook anymore. I may go back, but I canceled my personal page on Facebook. But I think there's a lot of reaction there. And people are trying to stay positive, but I'm not really, you get, everybody gets to be, human nature starts to set in, and then, you've got kids home, summer, came early, and this is totally a different time. It's the weight of it, I think, eventually it trickles down. But yeah, I appreciate you for sharing that. How are you doing? The foreign exp. I see your channel is growing faster than the speed. You know what? I'm not. I'm not monetized. I'm not sure if I came in during the period of which, I generally started this, basically activated this channel last spring, but I didn't start doing any live or really, moving along until, this year. I mean, like, no, probably the end of last year, last fall, maybe. I started ramping things, shoring things up. Um, and now I'm getting into this whole ecosystem thing. But if you guys will check out my community page, community tab on this page, on this channel, you'll see, some of the things that are coming up here. The $27 challenge. In fact, I'm going to play the $27 challenge. That's what I would like to do. Let's do the $27 challenge. Okay, so Foreign Exp, it says, I got mine monetized in 2 months at Black Spring. You can do it too. Well, I'm not quite sure how to track how the hours are done. I mean, because they show you like within so many days, I think, how many hours you have. But I'm not sure where it is, where it is. And I think I stumbled onto it one day, but I didn't realize how low the hours were. And I'm like, gosh, I got to really, if I'm going to be part of this whole thing, I have to, shore up these hours. And, so yeah, I'm trying to grow, but I'm also trying not to. Yeah, congratulations. Like, I'm trying not to get too. I was really happy and really excited. Thanks to the Black Spring, with Autumn channel that I was, and the subscribers here, that to you guys, I was able to get to the one part of that process. But the other part of it is, I guess I'm starting to see why so many people were heavily streaming, and people streaming for hours. I've seen people stream for 3 or 4 hours. I mean, and I didn't know. This is the Foreign Exp. Black Spring with Autumn. I'm here for you. I really appreciate that. I really do. Like I said, this is a total new venture for me, and I'm happy to have you guys on the journey and to grow together in here. But let's see. Effie says, that won't happen for me unless some of my video goes viral. They're just short animations. Well, it's a lot. Hang on a second. Foreign, you said, yeah, we used to stream for 8 hours, sometimes 10. Oh gosh, I do lots of things. I'm actually not doing a lot right now. I mean, I'm actually, my background is in music and teaching. And let's see, Effie, how many hours do you have now? So so is that where when you say 8 to 10, you were doing that many hours a day? That's like all day long. Oh gosh. So yeah, like that's like all day long. That's a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get some good. I can do. I mean, doing a lecture. I can definitely do lectures on streams, but people are going to come in for those. But I did say this. I want people to come to my channel for the content that I'm putting on the channel, not just for not just for live streams or growth. This is not a growth channel. But I would imagine that you can't really filter it out in real time unless people have come into your channel before. They know what it's about. So yeah, so you said yes a day, haha. Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, so shout out to everybody. Um, Shout out to everybody for coming in. That's Effie Loves America, Simply a Sweetheart, David Furman. Who else do we have? The Foreign Exp. Let's see who else. Well, I will tell you this for once. It's a pittance, the Foreign Exp. um, yeah, so generally, we were just kind of talking about things that are going on, and since you can sing, then you have an advantage. No, I don't sing. I'm not really a singer. I'm a musician. I'm an instrumental musician. So no, I'm not a singer. That's definitely not that's not my specialty. Let's see. But earlier today I did, let's see. I did a little bit of an excerpt from, it's a book called On Tyranny, and I've read just a little bit of that, just for, just kind of just a little bit of inspiration there, because of all the things that are going on. And it's nice that, it's just, I just think that people don't think that something like that can happen here. Like, we can't, that this country could not be, the government couldn't be changed, or significantly changed, or radicalized, or we'd be under, tyranny. And I just think that it's closer than people think. And I don't know, like, it's hard to keep yourself up, and Simply a Sweetheart. Oh, that's so kind of you. You see, you don't have a great speaking voice. Well, I appreciate it when it's not breaking up. As Effie says, I use background music in my videos. If you have anything you want promoted. Oh, very nice. Well, I do. I mean, I was working on, I was going to be doing a performance later this year, but this whole 2020 has been it's been a tough year. I find that every new year, it's kind of like starting an engine that just won't quite turn. It doesn't quite turn over until after, like, things, like formalities, like your deductible for your health insurance resets, or you renew your registration on your vehicle. Those things kind of happen for me on the front of the year. So to me, until after those things are done, it's the year hasn't really quite started. It's, if I can get all of those things done, then it's like, whew, okay, here we go until the next cycle. So I think the year kind of starts more like April, or for me, rather than, January. Of course, on the calendar, January 1st, but everything else, it's just a big reset. But yeah, I really appreciate that, Effie. I can share, I could probably share some things, even play some things on here. I thought about that. The Foreign Exp says this year is tough. Yeah, I've had a tough year. A tough 4 months, I guess I could say. Tough 2.5 months, I guess. Yeah, and never seen anything like it. You got that right, without a doubt. Yeah, but then it also just kind of puts but what does the rest of the year look like? It's basically going to be determined, I think, by what goes on from here until, you know, from here, from what we have, we're in April now. There's what, 8 months, what, 7.5 months or so left. I don't know. I've heard a lot of, sad stories and depressing things. But it's one thing about it, it's great that we still have this platform, and you know, I like to be able to connect to people and come on and talk to people. Let's see. Effie says, special needs mom. I haven't had a sense of time since the year 2000 myself. And Foreign X says, oh, well, I'm sure you work hard, and yeah, you do, I think we all just need, I don't know. It was raining here today, so I didn't get out a whole lot, which I mean, I'm not going out anyway. I mean, there's nowhere to go. I mean, I don't even do takeout. I haven't even done takeout from any place. I mean, Foreign Express is singing. You got some songs with Rihanna. No, I don't. I don't. I'm more of an I'm more of an old school kind of what can I say? Like old school person, or I like older things. Let me see. I do have, as I thought, I usually play like a tune, like to do like kind of a last call on these streams. I did find this little rock tune. I did find it. I might play a little bit of it now. Let's see. So something like that. That's kind of Steely Dan, I guess. Something like that. I mean, it's enough, it kind of changes the mood of things. I usually save it for the end of the stream. Can you guys tell me about these silent streams that I'm seeing people do? I don't know if, I mean, does that actually count? Like a silent stream? Like just facilitating a stream? Are you credited for that? I play an instrument. No, I don't use the computer for composing. I mean, no, I don't really do any compositions. I haven't written anything since I was in school. Or since I taught public school. I haven't used the computer to do anything composing or any kind of arrangements. I haven't done that. Oh, really? You said, yeah, you are credited for silent streams. So I'm just trying to, okay, so I guess you just put your computer on and just let it roll. I mean, I mean, I've seen people basically kind of go to bed, like, I don't know, they turn on put like a little teddy bear or something up and just go. It says you can grab 200 hours per stream. Is that the starting level of that? Starting level of the 200 per stream. So that makes me, I see, when you say that makes me think that what I looked at was not correct. I don't know where exactly in this. I'm trying to figure out where I go to even track my hours. Like I need to get an accurate counting of that. Thank you for sharing that information. Okay, I think I'm going to can that tune. Need a few people to run you. Well, I've had people to share out some things. And people, like I had somebody was doing something on my playlist. More people you have, more hours you get. I think the most I've had is like maybe 12, 15 at one time on a stream. But that's very helpful. Yeah, I totally love this music. I mean, like I think I actually heard this somewhere else. And then I was able to find it for myself. So this is kind of just kind of a relaxed kind of a stream. Normally I'll be doing, let's see. You said, how long was the stream? I think that stream was 2 hours. I think that stream was 2 hours. I'm getting to the point where I think I need to do at least 2 hours. And I've seen people doing 3-hour streams. I've seen people do the raids and all. I should ask YouTube on how to do things. But yeah, I've been looking for like guidelines or specific guidelines, and I mean, I did get the community tab the other day, so I don't know if that's where that milestone fits in this whole ecosystem. I don't know. Hi, Glamaria. How are you? Glamaria says, hello, guys. I absolutely love Glamaria. You should get over to Glamaria Style. She's got fun stream, great videos, great host. Just great overall. And Glamaria speaks. Whoa. Let me. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Well, I'm doing well, pretty well. Thank you for asking. Thanks for coming by. And yeah, thanks so much for coming by. And this is Black Spring with Autumn. Your boss is calling. My boss? No. Not exactly. But I'm so glad you guys are here. The Foreign X. And let's see. Effie Loves America. Simply a Sweetheart. Let's see. And who else do we have? David Furman. Okay. And we have Glamaria Style. So she's a great channel. Guys, if you're looking for great streams, great videos, great content, like it's one of the most fun channels. Hi, Chef and More. How are you doing? Thank you so much for coming in. We're just hanging out a little bit around here, Chef and More. I think I've been to I know I've been into your live streams. I really enjoy those. Very, very nice energy and very good. Very good. Nice to see you here. Let's see. Yep, shout outs coming in from everywhere. So is anybody else doing a stream tonight, or does anybody else do late streams here? So I've seen some streams that go pretty late, or that start out pretty late. Oh my gosh, everybody, look who's here. It's the TR show. The TR show. How are you doing? Thank you so much for coming in, the TR show. Everybody, it's TR. Like we're in the presence of greatness and the host with the most from the TR show, the royal family. That's I tell you, I can't say enough about the TR show. I mean, it's always fun, always lots of energy, always lots of great people. And TR only surrounds himself, I think, with great energy. I think that makes a difference. I think that makes a huge difference on the show. And oh, look, we got Patrick Jane Forums also, aka Killer Whale, aka Theory Forums. Theology Forums, not theory, but theology forums. Sorry about that. I know where my mind. Yeah, so we're just kind of hanging out here. We're just talking a little bit about what's happening in our area, what's happening in our neck of the woods. Yeah, we're just trying to keep our stay above as much of the fray as we can, or I don't know what's trending in somebody's area is always a little unique. So it's good that everybody's here. Let's see. Shout out to everyone. Chef and More, Foreign X, the TR show. I mean, I swear I got to write these dates down. Like TR's in the chat. And Patrick Jane Forums, aka Killer Whale. You guys get connected if you're not connected. Check out these channels. I mean, I can't say enough about the TR show, Patrick Jane Forums, Chef and More. Glamoria Style is here. This is, yeah, I'm seeing some people it's nice to see some of the same people come in. Glamoria has a great style. Like she's got, like, it's definitely a brand, Glamoria, that you have. And it's a fun show. Very much a fun show. So what I also wanted to do was I would like to share, I don't know, I've been talking about the $27 challenge. Now, I myself have done the $27 challenge. I videoed the $27 challenge, and it's actually in the community tab. And thank you guys so much for all your support, because I think I just got access to the community tab on yesterday, but I've already started putting, there's content there, and let's see, you'll be able to find more things on the show, or things that are going to be coming up on the community tab. And you don't have to necessarily wait for, reminders or that kind of a bit. So yes. So the community tab, the TR show for sure is definitely, you can find things from the TR show on the community tab. Yeah, because TR has been he's very supportive to so many channels. Like I said, I can't say enough great things about him. And so is Patrick Jane Forums, very, very supportive. Since I kind of picked up the pace on this journey and all. Let's see. I'm going to go over to that community tab. Give me just 1 second. I might play the video for you guys if you're interested in doing that particular challenge. Let's see. So actually the YouTuber that's doing the $27 challenge is actually in the community tab as well. So you'll find that there. I will play it so that you will know what that's all about. Just give me 1 second here. It's kind of on preparation. Preparation, for times of the unknown. Let's see, we have on the community channel, I'm going to share this video. It's actually a fun challenge. I'm seeing lots of challenges come up, but this one is definitely a good one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this.
Welcome back to...
Okay, hold on a second. Make sure it plays. It says, Autumn, are you connected with Tony Patriot? You will probably like his streams and he helps channels grow too. I have, but I think maybe my bell is not, maybe it's not working, because sometimes I feel like I miss his streams somehow. I need to check on that. So hang on just 1 second. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this screen on the $27 challenge. So there we go. Look at the audio. Okay, here we go.
Everyone, my name is Wesley, and let's check out these cool stories. Toilet paper startup ramps up and rolls in wake of coronavirus pandemic. So yay for capitalism to the rescue. I appreciate you. Coronavirus. Flush only toilet paper, not wipes or anything else, EPA says. Well, I hope not flushing rags. That would be gross. Twin Cities Bakery delivers perfect edible toilet paper cakes. These people are hilarious. Hilarious. I wonder if they do birthday cakes, right? All right, so everybody's wondering, why the toilet paper? Why the toilet paper? Well, this is why I've come to institute the $27 challenge. Okay? What's going on is a lot of people, for the first time in their lives, their instincts are kicking in. Their survival instincts are kicking in. We haven't needed them for a couple generations now. Think about thousands of years. We lived by our instincts. We lived by our wits. Those were our survival skills. Instincts are for survival. These instincts are kicking in. However, they're incredibly unrefined. They've atrophied over several generations, and people don't know what they're doing. So they're grabbing all the toilet paper. This is stupid. It's not going to help them in the long run. So the reason why I'm coming up with a $27 challenge is to lay down that groundwork in your mind.
That's what I said,
agile developmental groundwork that your brain needs to understand how to read your instincts and how to properly implement them. So the $27 challenge is this. You need $27 cash. Now people have asked me, why $27? Well, it seems like a good number to me. Do you really want to spend $50 on this exercise? No, keep it to $27. We all have time on quarantine. So you go to the dollar store, not the Dollar General, not the about a dollar store, but the everything's a dollar store. Whatever you have near you. You walk in there with $27 cash. Leave your wallet in the car. Okay, you walk in there and you buy what you need to create a kit, an emergency survival kit for yourself to survive a few days. Imagine that you're in California and a giant earthquake hit. Imagine that you're in Puerto Rico and you just survived a massive hurricane. What are you going to need to continue your survival? What are you going to need to protect you? Whether you're trying to escape the area and go to a safer area, or whether you're trying to shelter in place to wait for help, to wait for assistance to arrive. That's what this is about. That's what prepping is all about. So $27 challenge, like I said, $27 cash. You walk into a dollar store. You make sure you've had your breakfast. You drank plenty of water. Your mind is engaged, because this is actually going to be a very mentally challenging exercise for you. This is a very agile exercise. You're trying to predict things you've never thought about before. A lot of people, it's going to be very enlightening and difficult. But once we do that and submit those videos to me, or submit them on your YouTube channel and send me the link, and we can go over it, then we can continue on and help people really, really perfect their survival instinct there. So that again is called the hashtag $27 challenge. I'd really appreciate if you all take it. I'm going to send this out to a few friends. Let's see if we can get this out there, because people need to understand what they're trying to do, as opposed to just stealing all the toilet paper. It's not going to, those with the most toilet paper, in fact, have the less toilet paper. You know why? Because you can't eat toilet paper. You go a few days, you're willing to trade a whole roll of that for a can of Spam. A whole package of that. You're going to trade a whole package of that for anything that you can actually eat. So that again is called the $27 challenge. Please share this video, because big tech doesn't like us. They're censoring us. Share this video, get it out there. Let's see if we can get other people on this, so we can finally get people in the mindset of how to actually protect themselves during a possible economic collapse or any other type of disaster. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Okay. All right. So for those of you still hanging in there, that is the $27 challenge. And actually, I think I'm going to, I think I'm going to play my video on, I'm going to play my video of me doing the $27 challenge. And then, of course, I'm going to have Old School Wolf go over, some of the items that I chose. So I don't know. I mean, let's see. Effie Loves America says, we coastal Floridians are expert preppers. Hurricane season is no joke. Is that right, Effie? It's like, what kind of measures do you take when you do prepping for I mean, is it similar? Do you think it's similar that you do similar prep for disasters, or do you do different things for different seasons? Because I remember a few hurricanes. It was Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Opal, Hurricane Hugo. I don't know what years those are right off anymore. But yeah, hurricanes can be pretty devastating. And actually, I'll put the link out here in case somebody wants to come on. Anybody's up to chatting or sharing their experiences. Let's see. So there you go. That's for anybody that wants to come on this segment of Black Spring Live. Don't be shy. You're welcome to come on. Let's see. Effie says, we have food, water, cooking supplies, generators, etc. as a regular annual prep. Cool. Now, when you buy a generator, I have no idea what the criteria is for buying a generator. Is it based on the size of the house, or is it based on how much power you have, or do you get multiple? Okay, Patrick James Form says, I agree with you and like your reply to my comment from the upload today. Yeah, I mean, seriously, Patrick James Forums, aka Killer Whale, it's getting really intense, because what makes me concerned is about how we're hearing about this Dr. Fauci, and he's basically rubbing elbows with Bill Gates. And I'm just thinking, like, why are people looking to Bill Gates for anything? Since when did he go to medical school? I don't know no matter what anybody believes, you can't play it. It's like people are allowed to play God or something. You might have a lot of more money than most people, but what makes you think, why would anybody defer or subscribe or submit to him? I mean, there's all these. Who do I have here? Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Effie, how are you?
Hi, sweetie. I don't have my camera on because I'm in my PJs.
Enjoy the PJs. That's the way to do it. I'm learning all the hacks. You guys, I'm learning from the best.
Yeah. Well, I used to co-host on another channel, but that's the only time anybody saw my face, and they stopped broadcasting about a month and a half ago. So I haven't been live online since then. But anyway, I called in just to answer your questions about how we prep here in Florida. I live on the coast, on the East Coast, where the storms you know those annual, when the hurricane season happens and people on the Weather Channel, there's the cone of, danger. And then there's that red sort of freight train going right up the middle. And it's like with a target. I'm like right in the middle of that target every year. That's me.
Oh, wow.
Every year. Every year.
So you're always ready.
And so, yeah, we're ready. I have industrial grade shelving where I keep my supplies and, keep it high and dry. And, like the kind of stuff they use in like warehouses or grocery stores that are stainless steel. So they don't deteriorate, and they're very strong. And so you can have cans and water and fuel and all the things you need, and you can stack it like 5 high and it doesn't fall apart on you. And and as far as generator goes, those things are everywhere here. I mean, generators are like, I don't know, what do people buy up there? Toilet paper? Because everyone has a used generator for sale because they're upgrading to a better one. So generators are like crazy here. It's, you trip over generators during hurricane season. And it sounds like everybody's mowing their lawn when the power goes out, because it's like all over the neighborhood. And you have your windows open because there's no air. And so you got your generator on, and then it smells like gasoline because, most of them are running on gas. So it's kind of annoying, but it's better than not having power at all. But yeah, to answer your question, it depends on what you want to do. There are full house generators that, wealthier people have. And then there's people like me that has one that can just run a one room sort of AC and a few other electrical things like some lights and things when I need it. Keep the freezer going, and about that much power. And those aren't that expensive, but they improve every year. So people keep selling off the old ones to the construction workers.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that. Well, you guys are, so is it that the hurricane season, does that start like around August, if I'm not mistaken, like at the end, or is it more?
Yeah, I mean, technically it's a little earlier, but we really don't worry about it too much until August, because that's about, I've been around since I was here for Andrew. Okay. And I have actually literally PTSD from Andrew, so I take it real seriously. it is but on the other side of that, because of where I live, because of the people that have been through, the older folks especially have been through things, it's pretty calm here. When this all started, people were really relaxed. We had good times going to the grocery store and just saying, hey, it's like an extra hurricane season. We're all just laughing. It's not a big deal here. People are pretty calm. So when that thing that I told you about happened with the lady, what happened was I'm not on Facebook either, because that's a scary, scary place. I stopped doing Facebook years ago when I found out how scary it was. But this lady, she had her testing done. Apparently she wasn't feeling well. She posted it on Facebook because people like that have to diary everything they do.
Oh my gosh. That was the stunning part. I'm like, she put those results out there?
And I don't get that mentality, but that's me. I only went, like I said, I only showed my face on YouTube because I had friends doing a show and I was co-hosting, and otherwise I wouldn't have done it by myself. I'm just not like that. It's, like my personal stuff is not, I just don't feel like putting that out there. I don't get it, but but these are people that take pictures of their food, so what you gonna do? So this lady apparently, it was. I didn't even hear about it. This is my hometown where I live right now. This lady was shopping, And apparently she was also posting on Facebook that she was shopping to say, whatever she was noticing about the traffic, or, oh, it's so light, the traffic today because nobody's working. And so her Facebook friends, quote unquote, air quotes, notified the authorities that she had taken a test and that she was out shopping, and she was arrested in the store. And they took her home and put on ankle bracelet and told her until her test results were back, she was quarantined to her house. So that was really scary.
Wow.
And I didn't even know about this because, like, I don't go on Facebook, nor do I watch television. And this happened in my hometown. So I found out about it through Tim Pool. And Tim Pool is like a big YouTuber. And I was like, first half of the video, he was talking about something that happened in California. I'm thinking, of course, California. And then the second half of the video, he says, my hometown. I went, oh my damn. So it was embarrassing, really embarrassing, because this is not a state where you think of authoritarian government Gestapo tactics.
Right.
Yet here we are. Welcome to the New World Order. So yeah, it was interesting, and I was really embarrassed. And I don't know who I need to vote against next time, but I'll be sure to do that.
Oh my gosh. Well, but you see, that's why I entitled this. And excuse me, just a second. Shout out to Patrick James Forums and Chrysler Imperial H. Thank you for coming in, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Like, the culture of America is changing with all of this, all these like police state tactics and droning, people, arresting people for going to church, and it's just people are ratting out their neighbors around here. They're calling the cops regularly. You can hear the cops and the ambulance going like regularly.
I don't know if you've outed yourself but do you live in a big town? I don't know if you've doxed yourself.
It's kind of a big town.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a big. It's, to me, some people say it thinks it's a big town, but it's a small town. But it's not. Yeah. It's not small. It's not small, but it's not like Los Angeles. It's not quite that big.
But you're out west,
yeah. I'm in California. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, we're in it together now. I guess here we are.
Yeah. So I mean, my
WTH. I don't get it.
You know what? It was funny that you said that, because I never thought, like, it never occurred to me. Like, I went outside the other day without a mask on or anything. Right. And then the guy's like, the grass, it was so much rain we've gotten that, I needed to have somebody cut the grass. And, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe they would call the cops, if I don't have a mask on talking to the yard people, which I wasn't standing that close to them, but I had to show them, what I needed them to do. But nobody called the cops. It's just that, it just seems like crime and stuff is going up. Just all kinds of things are going on. And, rather than looking out for each other, it's like we're working against each other. And that's,
right.
the inner tyranny or, tyrants coming out in people, and
bullies. Yeah. people like to bully. And the things that the people who have a little bit of power tend to do, generally speaking, doesn't improve the situation anyway. It makes it worse. So you're going to take somebody who's having a swim or surfboarding by themselves with nobody around them, and you're going to arrest them and put them in a situation where they're near people, because why? How is that helpful in reality? I mean, there's just no practical there's no practical good from it. So it's just, hey, I'm an anti-authoritarian. I don't like the government, doing anything at all to me. So stop trying to help me. I don't want your help. Just let me be, but that's just me. I'm slightly to the right of Genghis Khan on that, just my kingdom, leave me alone. But yeah, well, it's Fuzzy Butt's kingdom, and I'm one of the serfs here, but he's the boss.
Yeah, well, I was glad that you, I'm trying to figure out whose stream were you in today? Did I see, was it today?
I don't know. I was surfing. See, what happened was, I have to say, I had a fever the last couple of days, and my days and nights are all turned around because this is the East Coast and it's like way late right now. And I was on so many streams today. I don't remember. That's why I just said I saw you on the stream probably, but I don't know which one. And
Yeah.
and then what happens is now I'm actually using I'm using an iPad right now, so I'm using their app, and I'm not familiar. I'm kind of new with the Apple stuff, so I don't know how to find people yet. But when they comment on my channel, I can go back and then subscribe. So that's how I subscribe to you, because you must have
Cool.
commented on one of my videos or something. Or
Yeah,
done
I
something.
think I did. I went in and watched a video. Yeah, but it's always, I'm always looking to, to kind of branch out sometimes. And that's, like I started out watching, like the big YouTubers, and I'm not watching them as much because I've been trying to build up this channel. So,
I
you know.
think that's you're on the right track. Knowing Tony Patriot and people like in that range
Mhm.
helps you to grow, and they can give you some advice. We had a pretty good stream going. I mean, a pretty good show, actually, more of a show on the History B channel, and Tony Patriot is part of that.
I think I'm missing that channel as well, but I thought I was subscribed, I don't know. It seems like what's going on here, Well,
Donna Marie, DM the mod, and History B, and I, and Ashley. We had another co-host, so we would rotate and do usually two of us at a time every Saturday, and two of the ladies, well, actually three of us had too many things going on in our personal life, so they decided to scrap the show. But we'll probably get something going again. But shows like that, my point being, shows like that, yeah, we build up a regular base, but a couple of hours every weekend.
mhm.
We were able to grow pretty quickly. The people that came into our live show was in the close to 100 some nights.
Oh,
So
wow. That's great.
yeah,
It's good
yeah.
numbers.
So it's consistency is, I think, what I learned from that, because
Yeah.
it was scheduled. It was every single Saturday night at 9:00. We did it, or was it Friday? I don't even remember.
Well,
But it was every weekend.
it's funny that you say that, because I'm thinking I'm going to maybe just kind of create a flyer and do it
Mhm.
twice a day, and just put those times on the flyer so that they know they can come in,
Mhm.
can, because I have at least like two or three shows that I'm double fisting or whatever on Saturdays and Wednesdays and Saturdays. It's like my favorite ones are coming on. But they're
Yeah.
the larger YouTubers, and they're not, you can't reach those people. Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of like lily pond hopping. You kind of go from a smaller lily pond to a bigger lily pond as
As you grow.
as you grow, as you eat more flies, and your froggy butt gets bigger. So to choke that analogy all the way out to the bitter end, but that's how we did it, and we had some rather large YouTubers, not large, but bigger fish in our smaller pond, who we're talking, you probably know, like American Joe's close friend, people like that, coming in, and they would occasionally say, oh, they're going to be on, go over to their, and so we do what we call raids. So I
Okay.
don't, if you've done that, been a part of raids. So one stream would close down, another one say, okay, because we would schedule, we'll be on at 8, they'll be on at 9. Okay, let's go all raid the channel and say, it's from this show. And then people would know what show it was from. So we was kind of helping each other that way. So that's kind of how if you're going to do live streams, that seems to be one of the ways to make it grow. And consistency, again, seems to be, we would show prep on Wednesday and do the show on Saturday. So we would give our, arrange what subject matters, collect our data, depending on who's going to be on, collect our links and our memes and our videos, and for our theme for that weekend, and have a good hour's worth of content. And then we try to keep it down. Every time I do a stream with one of the ladies, they'd say, let's try to keep it to an hour and a half maximum, because I have to get to bed tonight. I'm like, okay, 2.5 hours later, we're still going. So it was really fun.
Nice.
But
Nice. That's nice to hear. I mean, I follow, like, I don't know, I'm on Pete the Patriot, Disabled Vets Perspective.
Yeah, and those Alex and Pete and Tony and Joe and Donna and all these people are part of that. Yeah, they were part of our show. They were our regulars and in that group. So yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I
Those
just need to, like, to me, I should, because these others are very familiar. I should make sure I make some time for the others, and if they're, especially if they're being consistent with their schedule, that's easier to follow when you know when they're going
Yeah.
on.
And if you're going to be political, now on our show we did talk politics, but our show was specifically themed to be positive stuff, positive
Mhm.
news.
Mhm.
We did it. It was a weekend thing, and we were doing it specifically because most of the people in our audience were listening. Like you said, the big YouTubers is always the same sad stuff, stressful,
Right.
stressed out, So we were trying to be maybe topical, yes, but an alternative. And here's some good stuff that happened. Like this guy made veteran walking sticks out of donated Christmas trees after they were used, and things like that.
To change it up a little bit.
Exactly, to share some positive stuff, and then humor and other things to make people laugh. When I write trivia books and do puzzle books and things like that too. So we would incorporate trivia and have contests and have fun, and people enjoyed that. But what I was going to say is if you're going to do more political opinion things, as you know, YouTube is going to be more and more choking that off as we get closer and closer to election time. And so these other streamers, Pete and Tony and some of the others, are like Pete just got demonetized, and he's getting pretty big. Yeah, and so what I was going to say is they know how to. They're on DLive, and they know how to monetize on DLive and some other pay and Cash App and PayPal and Patreon and all those other things. So they have DLive going. Like when I'm modding on Pete's channel, I also go on DLive at the same time. Then we have it streamed on both things at the same time. So they are good people to learn that kind of stuff from, because that's what they're doing. It would be good for you to build up on DLive.
Yeah, you're right. As a backup channel. Yeah, that's what I was thinking today. That because I was there. There's other, like, was it Twitch and DLive and Streamlabs? But yeah, I'm thinking I was going to do the DLive. So yeah, I need that because you're right. They are. I mean, the censorship, to me, I've seen a lot of things, like people are not, unless you can search for somebody, people's names are not coming up. Even some of the independent sources that I follow, even those are not coming through like they used to. You know what I mean?
It's getting worse, and it's really interesting that they chose to turn off the go to channel tab or the three dot thing right when they you can't contact YouTube because of this, the beer flu. You can't call anybody and complain about it. Nobody's there. They're not going to answer your emails and say, what the heck, guys? So I've been in a lot of people's streams and nobody really, they assumed it had to do with their getting strikes and demonetization, but I've seen it on people who are not political. So it's across the board apparently, and nobody seems to know why yet. I haven't seen an explanation. So at this time, backups, and all of my content is backed up on BitChute. So every time, and that's automatic. If you get a BitChute app, BitChute account, you can go, once you do that, you can connect your YouTube account so that it automatically mirrors.
Yeah, I have a BitChute account. I've been getting a little bit.
But they don't have. Last I saw, they don't have live streams. So
no,
the people I see are doing DLive for that for now. So.
Yeah, I think I will go. I may even set that up tonight because, like I said, if this thing goes, I think to me it's on limited time. I think even it was even Alex's channel where or somebody's channel where they said that they pulled off one of his videos or something, or just took it off altogether.
Yeah, it was Bobby's. I think it was
Okay.
Bobby's.
Yeah. So yeah, I followed Deplorable Bobby. Deplorable Bobby.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Deplorable Bobby. I love his voice. He reminds me of me growing up and hearing the old time radio preachers. So he sounds like one of those guys.
Yeah.
He sounds like somebody from like a Baptist church that I was in when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good radio voice.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely enjoy. I mean, sometimes I get to tune in for. I think he does like a Bible study. I think he does. I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Several of these people actually do that are in the circle are doing. American Joe's doing one, and History Bee also. Well, we would have a Bible verse at the beginning of our show and a prayer at the end, and that was also what we did. So if that ticked people off, too bad. That's who we are. But it's not that we excluded people, but people who have problem with that might have excluded themselves. But,
so do you know how History Bee is spelled? I haven't seen that. Is it spelled?
History Bee?
Yeah. Is it just spelled History Bee?
I think it's one word.
Okay.
I think it's History Bee, one word, and I don't think there's a "the" in front of it.
Okay.
It's funny when I'm not trying to type it in, I don't know. It's like your passwords when you put your finger on the keypad.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know what you mean. So yeah, I'll plug that. It seems like I thought, because it just seems like even I've seen certain people's channels that it seems like, like even the subscription bell, maybe it was off, or like, when did I unsubscribe, to this channel or something? I need to just go through and see what's going on.
I think that's happening. I mean, I'll get 5 new subscribers, and then the next day I'll lose 2, and one day I lost a whole bunch at once. So I don't think a whole bunch of people decided to unsubscribe at the same time themselves.
Right. Like doing like during the day, if you're growing, and then all of a sudden there's a purge.
It seems to be, yeah, because it was too coincidental. So yeah, there's obviously a lot of strange things going on. And because of the people that I associate with, even though there's nothing really political on my channel,
Mm-hmm.
but they know who I'm supporting and modding for, and what videos I'm thumbs upping, and they know. So I'm a marked woman. I know that, and I'm not even gonna be surprised about any of that. So, green screen failure.
Yeah, I know. Don't you love it? I mean, it has like a little hanging thing on the bottom, but it's like, I'm not putting a nail in anything right now. I'm just gonna. It's 6 feet tall, so it's a good screen, but depending on.
Well, I hope you get the information you want from these people. I can only kind of point you to the bigger fish because I'm just a little fish, but I really think that the more voices out there, the better. So I hope you grow. And
yeah, I know. I think, honestly, and I would, for the thing that you were describing, like how you gain subscribers, then you lose them all within an hour or so, or within 2 hours, they're gone. Like, you're right. Who unsubscribed me? It's just, it got to be even like a little bit discouraging. Like, I've done all this hard work, and I've watched all these videos, and, some of them were, pretty good. And, now I lost, those subscribers, and,
yeah. I have hope for the D-Link, D-Live, because I like their monetization system where people give each other lemons and ice creams and things. It's kind of fun and addicting.
Uh-huh.
And so I think that will help incentivize that particular platform to continue to grow. Rather than just yet another YouTube clone, it's got sort of a unique way of keeping people's interest and a reward system going. So
Yeah.
that could be, as long as they don't become suddenly censorious like these other ones.
Something exotic.
Oops. Oh, there. That was actually a DLive commercial.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
So I
but,
don't know where they're based. I've only run into DLive because like these other channels that I've been a part of, it hasn't been something I've researched personally because I had no interest in going live myself. So I only did it for to help out my friend on her channel. So
well, I appreciate you for sharing all of this information. Yeah, it's very helpful, but it's also, to me, it's also like, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a little bit of a testament to, like, is this where we are? Like, where are we?
it's ominous. It's 1984 ominous. And I'm finding myself quoting Orwell a lot to people, as well as Ecclesiastes. So it's a little dim right now, a little shady, and that's why I've been focusing on my channel on some comedy. I'm making an effort to put out a funny video at least once a week while I have this time, and learn my graphics, my new graphics programs while I'm at it. So there you go. Also, I'm learning Chinese for the heck of it. So there you go.
Awesome.
It's something to do.
That's
Why not?
great.
I have all this time, and
I
I
mean,
already know how to speak cat. So now I'm on to another language. I started out thinking I want to learn an Asian language because I'm bored with the European ones at this stage. Who cares about German anymore? And I was like, what do I learn? So I started watching Asian dramas. This is off topic, so indulge me for 30 seconds.
Sure.
I watched Japanese dramas. I watched Korean dramas and some Thai dramas and some Chinese dramas. And based on which language I liked and the structure of their storytelling, I picked Chinese. And this was before the coronavirus stuff happened. I went, what a coincidence. So I've been doing that. And I was like, well, now I have time. And now I have a naggy Chinese app that pops up and says, it's time to practice Chinese for 10 minutes. Like, first you send the virus and now you're nagging me. So
well, hang on.
This is our world.
Hang on just one second. Let me just do a quick shout out. Hi, Audrey TV. I'm just shouting you guys out. Hi, Patrick Jane Forums, Killer Whale. Here goes my screen again. Oh my gosh.
Whale dude. Fuzzy Butt says hugs.
And Chrysler Imperial H.
Chrysler Imperial H. Hi, dude. I can't see y'all's chat. I know you too. I can't see your chat because I'm on the StreamYard. So this expensive freaking iPad doesn't seem to work for me because I'm a Windows person. I can only do one thing at a time on this thing. I actually went to school for computer science. Don't tell anybody.
Well, it's funny because I'm thinking I want to I want to do a career change for a couple of reasons.
You're entrepreneurial. I can hear it in your voice when you were describing what you did. You're entrepreneurial. You always have ideas. I can hear it in your voice. You're like, what can I do with this? And oh, that's interesting. And you're like, lily pad. You're just like me. I can hear it. I can hear it. I recognize you're one of my tribe. You're entrepreneurial. You have many interests. You're a Jane of all trades. I'm guessing. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's getting worse. It's only getting worse, Debbie.
I'm an old lady. It never gets better. I'm like, ooh, this is something new to learn. Let's learn Chinese. Ooh, an iPad. How do you do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I will say this, Effie, that when I was just like, why didn't I have I don't know, did I lack the courage or, there's all kinds of things going on when I was growing up, not all positive and everything, but, I've been a musician for, since I was 11, but, that had its place in time, but I don't know if I I don't know. I don't know if I had the guts or the courage to do other things. Like the things that I want to do now, it's like, I'm like, oh, well, what's keeping me from doing the things that I want to do now? Why not do them?
Mm-hmm.
It's
a question for the ages. I struggle with that myself. But I think for a lot of people, it's fear of success. And I know it sounds cliche. But it's sort of like you get a few feet into a building of success and you go, I think I'm going to try that room over there. And I don't know why that is. I do that to myself. I what do you call it? Self wounding. There's a word for that. I'm losing it right now. Tired.
Self-shaming, or is it not shaming, but
sabotage, self-sabotage. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I kamikaze myself. I don't even know that that's an anatomically possible thing to do, but I do it. And and then I want a new challenge. I also get bored. I'm thinking about literally don't get bored, but I get bored with something that I've already mastered and I want to go on to something new. I think that's more accurate. See, what I need is a lot of money and staff. Then I can go, I have an idea, guys. Here's what we're going to do today. And then the next day we'll do something different, because that's what I am. I'm like going from lily pad to lily pad. That's what I do. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, yeah, I managed to go to school and I managed to earn money doing things, but then I was like, I got to stop working for other people and started my own companies. And then I was like, I'm tired of this industry. And then it's like, I'm industry changing. I'm not even just changing jobs anymore. I'm like, well, let's build websites. Okay. Well, let's produce magazines. Okay. Well, let's produce YouTube videos for other people. Okay. Well, and the other thing is, from what I understand, people who have a lot of interest, I've been tested, brain balanced. I'm interested in artistic things and I'm interested in logical things. And that also causes me to I'm like, if I'm doing too many computer related things, suddenly I need to go draw a picture. And if I'm working on a lot of art, I'm like, I need to do some math right now. So what is that? Am I crazy? Am I lazy? I don't, am I just, I want it all. I want all the flavors of life at once. And I want to be a Jane of all trades. And, I don't care if I'm a master of anything. I want to keep learning and changing. And maybe that's part of the entrepreneurial thing. I'm claiming that. I'm saying, hey, entrepreneurial, that's got to be it. That's got to be it. At least it sounds positive. And as long as I can earn an income and take care of my son, I'm cool. So, and feed, Fuzzy Butt, because he rules. That's it. So I don't know. Do you feel any of those things? Is that?
I do. Well, I mean, like, I think the musician in me is never going to go away, and I don't want it to, because I need it. But then at times, like most of my friends that are doing like full-time music, full-time performance, they've tried it, and it's so difficult to get the work because everything is so oversaturated. And then, the performers start to, I taught some adjunct college, adjunct music, and, you just can't get an adjunct grocery store. You have to support yourself. And, I just had to, I don't know. I wanted to learn to do other things, not just for the sake of supporting, but, learning and creating and less entertaining is what and that's work
process. I like the process. I like to fight with it. I do artwork. I sell in galleries. Up until 2 years ago, my son had a health crisis, but up until 2 years ago, I was selling in galleries, and I discovered this thing about myself in that process, which is I like the process of creativity. So I like to have a vision for something I'm going to do. What I did mostly was glass work, and I carved glass for furniture, like tabletops and things like that. And
cool.
I liked struggling with the medium and fighting it and having a vision and it going wrong and me struggling and fighting it, making it into something better. it's kind of that intense fighting against the medium and the problems and the mistakes, and coming out with something that somebody still wants to pay, you know, a paycheck to get is like, yes, that's the thing. But it's the process, because once I'm done with it, I don't want to look at it anymore. I want it out of my house, out of my life. I want to look at it because then I want to change it more anyway. So it's got to go. So when it comes to that, being monetarily successful, financially successful for people like that who are creative, I think it's, the problem is we don't want to be repetitive, which is what's required for the financial success. Like, oh, make me 3 of those. I want side pieces and, you know, a coordinating set. And like, I'm not making furniture, I'm making art. Stop it. You know, and I need the process. And once I've created something, I'm not a factory. I don't want to do it again. And
right.
it kind of kills the whole spirit of what you're doing, which is the inspiration that you need to do it in the first place. So it's kind of a catch-22. And anyway, that's kind of something I learned recently about myself. It's that I need the process, I need to struggle, and the creative process for me is therapeutic as well. It helps me from going crazy from, you know, too much reality. But that I think is part of why it's difficult for artists of any kind of art, you know, any sort of art, music, etc., to stick with anything, because they end up becoming sort of like a factory worker, but in art, in music, in painting, and whatever their art is. And that's not the part of the brain that is engaged in order to make good art. So it kills you to monetize your art, literally kills your art. So it's kind of a strange, unfortunate catch-22 for people. There are strange, you know, alien creatures who are able to get up, you know, and do it repetitively, and those people become, you know, Pink Floyd. But we're not all going to be Pink Floyd, right? So
Wow. Yeah, well, I really appreciate that your perspective on that, because I do seem to struggle. Like, it seems like the older I get, it seems like it's coming out more, and I'm like, I don't know if that's ADD or what is it, ADD, or is it just I would like to have a business of my own. I don't want to work for somebody else for the rest of my life. And I'm, you know, and I like to use my brain, and I like to, you know, I like to do that. But I haven't really I've done music most of my life, and, you know, it's like that's all I ever really, you know, that's what I knew. And but now I don't mind, you know, working on a computer or learning a program, or I would like to, you know, be able to have a creative element to my, you know, job or entrepreneurship. You know, I don't think I can live without the creative element. I think that has to be there.
I think that's insightful, because that people who have that creative spark need it therapeutically. And when I deny it in myself for long periods of time, I find myself emotionally lost in a sort of downward spiral of, you know, why am I getting up today? Oh, yes, to feed my son. And that's it. You know, that's the only reason why I'm here. So I need that creative, therapeutic creative outlet. And it's part of my soul. I think it's that little tiny piece of God inside of me that creativity that connects me to the actual creator of the universe. And without that, if I don't exercise that, I'm disconnected on a level that I was meant to be connected. So I sort of get soul sad if I don't create. And I think that a lot of people get that way. I think it's insightful that you recognize that you want to incorporate that in your day-to-day life. It's probably the healthiest thing you can do if you're a creative person. You know, we're all a little crazy, but it's best to mitigate it as much as possible.
Well, no, it's kind of funny that, you know, I was just thinking, I was telling somebody earlier, I said I came off of Facebook because I don't know, it's just like, I just don't know if it's just, you know, people in general, or just, you know, generational, you know, things are just not the same. Well, clearly they're not the same. But, you know, people.
I'm Gen X, so I don't, you know, as far as my generation is concerned, everything sucks. You know, that's Gen X's pretty much theme. Y'all suck. Grunge rock, everything sucks. And I'm not going to wash my hair for a week. That's my generation. So yeah, I hear you. It's gotten to the point that I don't recognize the humanity in humans lately. The attitude of younger people, and I don't mean to generalize. I mean in in the sense of the pervasive, noisy younger people, that it tends to be such a I feel so disassociated from them in trying to empathize with them and understand where they're coming from, because the stuff they say makes so little sense to me, and getting screeching angry over nonsense. I mean, hopefully that one good thing will come out of this situation, this pandemic, is that maybe some people will return to a concept of what's really important in life and be less screechy over nonsense, if you understand what I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is what was happening on, because I always supported my friends, even, it's what I don't want to say, like, I've always supported them post school and everything. But then like it seems like, they weren't really supporting me. And I'm like, you know what? Is this where we start to see the end of the road, end of the rainbow or whatever, but just generally, I would notice if I posted anything that was artistic, if I posted a performance or something that I was doing or a lesson or something, I might get a couple of likes. But if I post, they spelled my name with an O at Starbucks, I get 500 likes, just the wonkier the post, the more,
Yeah.
the more likes.
See, that explains pop music, doesn't it? So, there's a thing called least common denominator, and that's what's most popular, the least common denominator. So back to the math references, I guess. But yeah, that's something I've noticed, and I've lamented for years, and now I'm old enough that I don't care anymore. But at least for a while I thought about it. It's just like, generally speaking, what people think is cool sucks. And and yeah, you take a picture of your breakfast and you get 500 likes, and you put you literally, like, I literally bleed for some of my art because glass can cut you. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but hurts. And I use power tools, and so things happen, things happen, and I still have all my fingers, but stuff hurts, and I can put my soul into something and get nowhere with, as far as public appreciation for it. But then I can post, some, oh, look at this cute little nutcracker I saw at Target, and it's like 369 likes. Oh, yeah. So some cheap Chinese freaking nutcracker, because it's sparkly. Anyway, that's the unfortunate. See, Gen X was right. Everything sucks. I mean, I don't mean to be a downer, but I think the first part of being mentally healthy is to accept the reality that most people are not very smart, and being a big part of why there is this least common denominator thing is it has to do with, when you're talking about the baser mentality of most humans, it's about selfishness, limitation, jealousy, and then viscerally being angry at stuff that they don't understand or care to understand. So take your choice. I mean, that's how we get mob mentality. That's how we get people acting crazily in large groups. And Facebook and Twitter and all those are just examples, electronic examples of that played out. It's large groups acting like piranha. And, and the best that piranha can do is not kill you, I guess, if they're in a large group. So they're going to like your picture of your omelet. Okay, thank you, piranha. Swim away now. And I'm going to go work on real things. So I've been off of Facebook for that reason. So yeah, I hear you. And that's the thing. You have to find your tribe. And that is the opposite of what I just said, which is, at least on the internet, you can open a shoe store for people who have size 11 feet and one left foot, and you will find your tribe, and they will come to you, because it's the World Wide Web, not your neighborhood wide web. And you can find your tribe and like-minded people who appreciate you for your talent and your heart and the message that you're putting out will come to you. You just be you, brand yourself, and they'll come. Build it and they will come. And find mentors. Like my brother said, we didn't have a dad, and my brother and I are about a year apart, so we raised each other. And homelessness, blah blah blah. Not even going to get into all that. Like you said, people have history. And one of the things that was really profound, and my brother's a year younger than me, so it kind of surprised me anything profound came out of his mouth, because I always gave him a hard time for being my brother. And he said to me, what I've learned, because he didn't have a dad, and we didn't have a dad. So he said to me, what I learned is, if somebody's doing something that I want to know how to do, or I want to learn from them, I will go to them and say, teach me everything you know. And we were young and trying to get by. I was a waitress at 15, no school because I didn't have a home. And, I had to put myself through school, put myself through college, put myself through all that. And it was my brother saying that to me that taught me that. And I was like, wow, for a minute I had a dad because my brother said that to me. And
Wow.
I think it's profound. It's be humble and ask for help, and ask for help from people that you admire, people who are not just because they're people, but because they're people you admire. And you will get that mentoring you want to have. And in his case, he would find other people's dads to teach him to play softball and things like that. And in my case, it took a while to learn my self-worth, because, the stupid things that you do when you're young and haven't been taught self-worth. And but I got there eventually. And but learning from other people, listening to their stories, and saying, teach me everything you know, and being humble enough to learn, has been some of the greatest advice I ever got.
Well, yeah, that's really, I mean, that's very inspiring. I think that, like growing up and stuff, I like the things, kind of went not so good, people came at the right time. I had, like people showed up at the right time, or, I didn't have to, oh, all of a sudden I have, a mother figure or something like that, like, it was just, I could learn something from everybody. And luckily I had those experiences.
And you're smart enough to pick those things up and throw away the trash. You're I can see that in you. You're intelligent, and you have passion. And I think that, you're looking for the direction maybe of which path should I take. And it's an interesting thing that we're kind of born with sunglasses and we can't see clearly sometimes, and we have to walk by faith. And where's the path? And fortunately, the God of the universe has perspective that we don't have. We're on the chessboard, but he's looking down at the whole thing, so he's got us. It's just that's where the faith comes in, and knowing that there is a path. Sometimes we just don't notice it was there until after we walked on it a little bit. We have to look back and go, oh, that was the path. I learned that for a reason, and now I can do this. And a lot of the hard stuff I've been through, not to get into it, but really helped later with my son. And I have a special needs boy, and if I hadn't been through some of the things I've been through, I would not have been able to be the mama bear that I became to take care of him. So I'm honestly one of those people that can look back and be grateful for the bad things. And, gratitude, it gets you pretty far as well, mental health wise, accepting the tough things as the thing the wedding stone that makes your sword sharper. And you just keep improving and improving. So I see you on an upward trajectory. At least that's my impression of you as a person.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, like I said, I have to just keep working and just stay busy, I think, is what I noticed. Like, I don't do well when I'm idle is the other thing. Is, the older I've gotten, like, oh, I can't just be like doing something like, every day's Groundhog's Day. Oh, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do that very well. I mean, and I was just thinking, I thought, well, maybe I want to go back to school, but not like not a 4-year track. I can't do these indoctrination camps that are,
I would, yeah, I hear you. I would probably get into too many fights in a public school anymore. I had enough trouble when I was young in those situations. I would get into arguments with people, 3 times my age because they were talking nonsense, and I got a lot of slack for having attitude, but I didn't have attitude. Actually, I was very polite, but I wouldn't back down, and I would present essays that were not politically correct. I remember being 18 years old and I wrote about the women's movement and I called it a misguided movement. I thought I liked the alliteration, and I would never get any marks for my, any problems with grammar or following the rules or doing the assignment properly. But then I'd always get a letter grade down because I was on the wrong side politically on the issue. And that started happening. I got into my first political argument in 7th grade. So
wow.
That was, this hippie came in. He was actually a sub. He came in to teach our class, and he proceeded to tell the class, it was a history class. He proceeded to tell the class, we were reading a literal diary from a woman who was a pilgrim, and it was a diary of how her village was overrun by natives, and all of the men were killed, and most of the women, and only the young women were left alive, and some of the children, and how her baby died in her arms, and how she lived through it, and was taken eventually back to England, where she wrote the diary of what happened. And it is a harrowing story, and terribly tragic and sad. And all this guy was like, yeah, don't believe it. It didn't happen. White people are bad. The Native Americans are always innocent. And I was like, how are you going to disparage this woman's story? I mean, I don't have any evidence that whether or not this person, the story was true or not, but where's your evidence that it's all lies? I don't follow you. And that's all I was saying. I was 12, 13 maybe. I wasn't trying to say you're a liar, you're an idiot. I would never say things like that. But now I think back and think that guy was an idiot. I would never say that. But I was just like, why are you saying this? Where's your, evidence? I don't know if I knew the word evidence at the time, but I knew to say, what you're saying isn't making sense. I'm not following why you're saying it. And I just looked around me at all of these other little kids with their eyes and their mouths open, listening to the propaganda, thinking, this isn't right. But I didn't have the intellect, or rather the experience, to understand why. Why is this not right? I just knew it wasn't right. So I just started pursuing it on my own. And yeah, I was already slightly to the right of Genghis Khan by the time I was 15. And I was out on my own, having to work and take care of myself and my brothers. So, I didn't have time to be spoiled. I didn't have time to be let other people indoctrinate me, because I was living real life, so there was no, so that's why I really don't relate to the eternal youth. They call themselves kids in their 30s still. And I'm like, no. No, I was not a kid. By the time I was, I wasn't even legally able to drive yet, and I was no longer a kid. So I don't follow that mentality. And so I have patience, but I don't have tolerance for, and I'm trying to empathize, because I know they don't, bless their hearts, they don't know any better, but it's tough. It's like reasoning with zombies. So I'm not going to be on Facebook or Twitter anytime. I had a nightmare that somebody made me go on Twitter.
So have you ever been on Twitter?
Actually only as part of the shows that was part of the format to pick out a few tweets to
Okay.
talk about.
Okay.
So they were, like tweets of the week. So I would just go on I would just go on the PC version so that I could just read the tweets.
Okay.
But I don't have an account. I
Okay.
don't have an account. I would get banned in one day. I think I might, if I start live streaming, that would be something I would do, is to see how fast I could get banned. It would probably take about an hour. That's my guess. Probably I'll make that a contest. Somebody can have my next book for free. If they guess exactly within like 5 minutes how long it takes me to get banned off Twitter. That's about, I'm guessing an hour though.
So
Max.
are they actually doing like their own level of censorship on a Twitter, or?
Oh yeah, Twitter's notoriously bad. Their level of censorship is through the roof, and yeah, people get banned. They have Twitter jail just like Facebook jail, and then they just flat out just ban people's accounts for having the wrong. And it's kind of like that that whole mentality with the medication for the beer flu. You can't say the name of this medication even though it's FDA approved, or your account gets suspended. You get suspended for saying hashtag what was the last one I remember that was funny? Hashtag learn to code. That one was hilarious. That yeah, picking on the press, picking on the reporters who are getting laid off because nobody. This is before this situation, but in the last couple of years, it's been tough for those poor reporters, because nobody likes them, and they've been getting laid off, and so people are mocking them, saying hashtag learn to code because they were telling
Everybody telling the coal miners that, yeah,
hashtag learn to code. So they started banning people from Twitter for saying hashtag learn to code. So yeah, that's some serious censorship right there. You can't even say learn to code. So yeah, I have no BS tolerance. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm getting old and rigid. Like I'm like a oak tree. I just don't want to bend anymore. Can't do it. So I'm gonna let you go because you look like you're getting tired.
Well, I'm
and I kept you too long.
No, you were good.
You know what happened was I made some tea. I have this mint tea that I like because Southern, and I did the wrong tea bag. I did the one with the caffeine in it.
Oh, so you're good to go.
So I'm like, woo, I think I'm gonna go write something because I'm awake.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I mean, that's nice to. It does seem like I think you're like a lot of what you were saying about creative processes and needing these different elements and wanting to do. I've never started a business or anything, but I'm just thinking, well, maybe one day I'll get to, and maybe one day all of this will come together, and it'll be.
Yeah, and make it come together. Look for gurus who have accomplished what you're thinking about accomplishing for yourself. Listen to their processes, because processes are a big part of it. Your mentality is important. The law of attraction, how to pull to yourself the things that you want in your life and not attract the things in your life that you don't want, and then your process for achieving those things. And you'll find your gurus. They're out there, and I simultaneously listen to gurus while I'm working on other things, because I kind of have to do two things at once to not be bored, and that's been a big part of it. So if I want to learn, for example, a new software, I'll watch a bunch of teaching videos on that software and go from A to Z and get it done. But that's my process. I like to do a lot of tutorials.
Yeah.
And, that's fun. But I've listened to people who are, well, this is where I want to be in life, and they're the sort of people that help people get to where they want to be in life. I'm not just saying positive thinking, but more about positive plus process. And there are people out there who can help you to achieve your process, to lay out your process and achieve it. Because I believe in goals-oriented work, not dreaming as much as goaling. Like, okay, this is the goal. How do I get from here to there? And then, it's nobody's business how you choose to make that happen. It can look a little zigzaggy because that's your process. That's, because especially with us creative types, it's like, we have to go through this over here and that over there. And that's part of the process, because if you're going to go back, if you're going to get more creative again in your life, have that in your world, which you probably need if you're a creative person, you need to draw inspiration from all kinds of things. And that requires experiencing a lot of different things and going in a lot of different directions. It's just how the process works. It's hard to create in a vacuum, staring at a blank canvas or a blank page and then making something be there. Now, it's easier to have a messy desk and have a bunch of music coming at you and people annoying you, and then you push them out, and then you go, I have an idea, and boom, it's 3 a.m. and you're writing the best chapter you've ever written, and that's how it works. And it's scientifically true, actually. I just watched a video about a study they did about creativity and messiness.
Okay.
Literally, messy environments make people who are creative more productive. Isn't that funny? I'm like, yes. I don't have to do
that sounds like a great article. I'd love to find a study.
I just heard it was like one of those Today I Learned or one of those sorts of YouTube channels. I'm pretty sure that's where I found it. And because I'm always interested.
Today I Learned, is that
the psychology of it?
Okay.
It was recent. Yeah. So yeah, just look up something like messiness improves creativity, something like that. You'll probably find it under something like that, because it's fairly recent. And they did a study where they were talking about the study where they had people who are creative, asking them to come up with, I think, writing lists of things or solutions to things. Mm-hmm. And they would put them in very pristine environments, and they would put them in very busy or messy environments. And the messier environments came up with a lot more solutions or creative output.
Wow.
And it makes sense to me, because creativity is like, you're taking the elements, good and bad, around you, and you're pulling and pushing until you come and hammering away until you come up with a product, an outcome, and there it is. And but it wasn't there before. But it's not there in a vacuum. You kind of have to fight the elements and fight the feelings and fight the thoughts in your head that are distracting you, and in a good way, and that's the process that I was trying to explain. It's hard to explain it, I guess. I sound like a hippie from the 60s. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's just not in a vacuum. So if I sit and I open up like a word processing, program and go, okay, I'm going to write a chapter. It's like, no, I can't just look at a blank screen and make words happen, or I can't just, get my center and, a piece of glass and say, okay, make art, it's not where it comes from. But what happens is I ingest a lot of information. I let my thoughts, go crazy. And I think about other things also. I might, create something else entirely different, like, a soup I've never made before to feed people. And then it's 3 a.m. and I go, oh, I just had an idea. And then I can sketch. Then I have an idea for the next thing I want to make. And there it is. And it's inspiration. It doesn't, you can't force it. You can't force it. So it's tough. It's tough because you're like, okay, I've got a staff and I've got a blank page of music, a blank music page. How do I draw? How do I make music? And it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. But then you hear the faucet that you didn't get fixed yet go plink, 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 plink. And you go, hey, that jams. And that's how that happens. Just right?
Footsteps. Somebody's footsteps can make a huge difference. Like
exactly. Because I've always because I used to compose, since I was young, poems and little songs to go along with it. It was kind of my thing when I was younger. But I would wake up hearing music and I would go, hey, that's a good song. Where did that come from? And then I realized, I made that up. And then I'd be like trying to catch that feeling, like, so I could remember it later on.
Right. Hang on just
But
1 second. Hi, Dave Durango. How are you?
Durango. That sounds like a cowboy name. Hey, wait a minute. Is there a kitty cat on that deck of cards? Is there a black cat on that deck of
No,
cards?
like that. Yeah. You can zoom it
It
in.
is a black cat. I
We
feel
gotta
a
wave.
kinship.
We gotta wave from Dave. I mean, that's just a wave from
Away from Dave.
you.
Well, let's make a song about it. That sounds like a country tune. Away from
Yeah.
Dave.
I don't know. That
So-
sounds so cool. Like, yeah. I don't know. You sound like a fun Gen X person.
I'm a fun Gen X person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only kill people when I absolutely have to. That's-
He says it's his cat. It's my cat. He says.
Oh, well, this is my cat. I actually drew it because he made that face at me one day.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the face he made at me.
Oh.
And he looked like, I'm disgusted with you and I will tolerate no more of your BS. And so that's the face he was making. That's Prince Fuzzy Butt in the cartoon form. That's
Oh
him.
wow. Cute.
That's
Maybe
my
we'll
boss.
Bring him on. D Live. Fuzzy Butt.
Yeah, he was on. Actually, if you go on the History B channel and you look at some of our old streams, the DMB report, you'll see Prince Fuzzy Butt on some of them. Because when I was on the ones that I was on, he's on a chair sitting next to me half the time because he's spoiled, a little bit spoiled. I don't know how that happened. Somebody spoiled him.
Hang on a second. Glamaria Style is here again.
Glamaria. Glamaria. Glamaria.
Nice to see you, Glamaria Style.
That's a very musical name, Glamaria.
I know, but I'm so glad you came on, and yeah, I'm gonna just kind of keep plugging away, but I'm definitely gonna get D Live going because I'm just because I mean, it seems like I heard that there was supposed to be something huge happening around the 10th or the 11th or something, and
On
I'm
YouTube.
like, yeah,
it's not looking good. It's looking bad, and I really feel bad for my friends who are streamers and are political in any kind of way because they just don't want us. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of good that the stream, the show that I was part of stopped anyway, but we weren't, I mean, we were political, but we weren't, what's the word? We weren't controversial. We were more about positive things, but it still probably would have got hammered, probably. And yeah, but I feel bad for the streamers because you got, with the people not being able to share directly their channels and in the chat. That's what kind of nonsense is that?
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's even what I mean. I don't know if it's just something that they're just are they gonna pull it overall or
at this point you can click on people in the comments under your videos. You can click on this channel still. I tested it today, but who knows? Maybe it's going to get worse. And I don't understand the mentality because how does the platform grow if people can't grow? It's like they hate their core base, which are the people who create videos on YouTube. They don't like you. And I'm like, why? Why are you going to do that? Why are you going to... Anyway, the people that made YouTube what it is are getting punished now. It's an interesting mentality. But I suppose, yeah. I don't know.
I think I was funny. I've been on a few people's channels and I'm like, this person was more, it seems like some of these people have wasn't this person monetized the last time I came in here?
Yeah.
I guess it's getting real. So I need the backup. I need the backup outlet. And then I get uploaded.
And I happen. I was involved with several streams that got demonetized in modding for them, and I was a frequent guest on a couple of, one guy he had, he had I think about 15,000 subs. He got booted. And he was not controversial. Mostly he just read stories and talked, but he wasn't monetized. He actually never monetized, but they still booted him.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, and he was really popular. I just, I do know the explanations. I'm watching enough of the bigger, Temple and other folks, and I know why. I know that they're promoting the old guard media, but it kind of reminds me of how rich kids are when they inherit something and they don't appreciate the value and the work and what made it successful in the first place, and they just run it out. Like, Dad gave me a Ferrari, I'm going to burn this sucker out. And it's like, that seems to be who's running YouTube now. Is not the people that built YouTube or understood what made it awesome, but the next generation who are going to just, like a tick, suck all the blood out of it until it dies. And it's just, that's what I think is happening. It's sad. Used to be fun. A lot of the things are fun. The 90s were fun. Let me hear it.
Yeah, I remember the 90s for sure.
The 80s were crazy. I wasn't that old then, but I remember the 80s. My brother says I don't remember anything from the 80s because he has a misunderstanding of my lifestyle. But, don't listen to my family. They don't know me. But I remember, and it was fun. No, we took for granted the freedom. We didn't take for granted the freedom, but we didn't appreciate how great it was. In my generation, we appreciated the freedom. I knew people who came from Cuba. I know one of the ladies that I work with, because I live in Florida. One of my coworkers, her father was a physician and her mother was pregnant, and Castro busted the intellectuals down to menial labor and tried to work them to death. Her father was like a janitor, a physician, was made to be a janitor. They escaped on one of the boat, escapes, and her mother was in labor with her as they were escaping, that 90 miles across the water. And because of that, she was deprived of oxygen and partially paralyzed, and on her the left side of her body. And when I talked to her, and I've known her since the late 80s, when I talked to her, and I talked to a person who was young behind the Iron Curtain, lived in Russia, and her mother was a widow and had 2 children, and they couldn't afford enough coal to keep the place warm in the wintertime, and they would get frostbite in their own beds.
Oh, wow.
This is what authoritarian government does. This is what the kind of mentality where people are suppressed and no one has human rights. So I don't like seeing it in any form, whether it's government or corporate. When the little guy gets pushed down by bullies like that, it's just evil in on earth. It's the evil, the worst kind of evil, because it devalues humanity. It devalues what's really most important, which is us. And so I really appreciate, and I think people in my generation really appreciate freedom. We appreciated it. We saw the fall of the Berlin Wall. We understand it. Our older, family members, our fathers, our older uncles were in Vietnam. And so there's we do have an understanding, but when I was a kid, it was still, this is what happens in the case of a nuclear war. Get under the desk, that, I don't know why the hell they told us that, but that's what they said.
Wow.
So it's like, okay, nuclear fallout, get under the desk. That's going to help. I was like, that was the thing when I began questioning authority, but I digress. So
yeah,
we appreciate it, that things were bad and the Berlin Wall fell, and economic, it went from gas lines in the 70s to economic boom in the 80s. And it was like, yes, this is better. We are in a better place. This is a better world. And we appreciated it. But everything that happened after that was about too much largesse, excess, too much materialism, too much selfishness and greed, and so now we have a couple of generations now of soft, lazy,
Scary.
yeah. So that's where we are now. If anything good can come out of the negative situation that the world is thrown into now, it's appreciating what's important, appreciating your family, appreciating your loved ones, appreciating being able to do the simple things in life, like fending for yourself and taking care of yourself, and taking care of the people that you love, and going outside without getting arrested, because freedom is precious. It's precious. And yeah, unfortunately, there's always going to be people who think it's better to have some big entity, corporate or government entity, controlling everything. And then you get stories like my friends, who had to escape barely with their lives. And but yeah, I just hope that we don't. I think that we were just barely saved in the last election cycle. We were just barely saved from tipping over. And I'm very grateful, because I have a son, and he's special needs, and I have to have some hope that there's going to be enough humanity left in humanity to take care of him when I'm gone, because I won't be here forever for him. So it's serious for me. This isn't just some abstract political conversation for me. This is about my son's survival in a world that's either going to be evil and authoritarian and think, well, the weak, well, he's just a burden. That sovereignty and the divine nature of humanity that comes from the Creator is what this country was founded on. The sovereignty of the individual is why my son's life is valuable to someone with the right morals. But to the collectivist who's about what is expedient and what the authoritarians decide based on the numbers, who and who isn't worth saving, my son is not worth saving. So I know which side I fall on. And that's the serious side of it for me. So the hope is that this little short version of the apocalypse and communism light that we're going through right now will get people a chance to say unsubscribe, and I want to go back to the way things were. Thank you very much. And freedom is good. So I'm hoping that we'll pick up 10 or 20% of people going, yeah, I'm going to let go of those commie dreams that they were trying to sell me in college, because
right.
I don't like this not being able to go to a store and not get arrested in my hometown.
No. It's way too much. But I tell you, Effie, I am going to wrap up this stream, and hopefully I'll see you around, and I'm going to be coming over to your page, your channel, and see what's going on over there.
Not a lot. I just started throwing up a little comedy just to lighten up.
I need some comedy.
Because we need it. We need some comedy, and that's what I'm doing. But I'll get my brother to do some live streaming with me, because he's funny. He makes me laugh, so he must be funny. Not too many people can make me laugh. I'm more like, I like to make other people laugh, but I'm kind of tough. I'm a tough audience. So, but yeah, it was nice talking to you.
It was nice to talk to you. And I'll like I said, I'm gonna work on my alternative options, because like I said, I just, this has changed. Like we kind of woke up into these changes, or I woke up, I'm like, what's going on, but
yeah.
That's it. But well, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye to everybody in the chat as well, and thank Effie for coming on. Thank you, Effie.
Well, you're welcome. Goodbye, everybody. Remember to obey the kitty. because he's the prince, Prince Fuzzy Butt.
Okay, well, good night, Kitty, and good night to everybody in the chat. Have a great night.